There's a moment in every high performer's life where you look around and you think, why isn't this working the way it used to? You have to constantly be growing and shifting because sometimes you're doing the same behaviors, you're using the same formulas, you have the same high performing habits, but the results feel flat, slower, heavier. This moment is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of graduation. You have outgrown the systems that serve the previous version of you. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to 360 Success Podcast. Today's episode is going to hit home for every high performer, every leader, every doctor, every entrepreneur listening, because sooner or later, every single one of us faces a moment where the plan that got us here stops working. Not because you did something wrong, not because you're failing, but simply because you grew. Your capacity shifted, your season changed, and the strategy you built was designed for the you of yesterday. Some people call it goal overrun. They get past their goal and then they don't have a goal. They don't have anything directing them or leading them to what's next, the next level. So today we're going to break down what to do when the plan you trusted stops working and moving you forward. How to recognize when a season has shifted, how to reinvent your leadership without losing your foundation. And we're going to talk about the courage it takes to pivot before the pain forces it. So let's get into it. There's a moment in every high performer's life where you look around and you think, why isn't this working the way it used to? I've seen this in 31, 32 years of business now, where in practice or in coaching or whatever, you have to constantly be growing and shifting because sometimes you're doing the same behaviors, you're using the same formulas, you have the same high performing habits, but the results feel flat, slower, heavier. This moment is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of graduation. You have outgrown the systems that serve the previous version of you and the previous level that you or your business was at. Think about it. An eighth grader doing eighth grade homework isn't a genius, but a senior in high school doing eighth grade homework is massively underperforming. Some of you are in a season where you're doing eighth grade strategies in your senior year. The plan stopped working because you've been promoted, and promotions look like problems before they look like breakthroughs. So these are really opportunities for growth. There's always a climb involved to reach the next level. High performers struggle with this because we don't slow down long enough to notice the indicators. Here are the three biggest signs your season has shifted. Friction increases with no clear explanation. Not resistance, friction. Resistance means you're pushing towards something worth doing. Friction means the strategy is no longer aligned. Second thing is you feel internal restlessness, even when things are fine. This is the quiet voice inside of you saying, there is another level. Not out of discontent, but out of calling. Again, you've been promoted or you're in the process of promotion, and what got you here won't get you there. You've heard that before. Next thing is you're succeeding, but it feels heavier than it should. If you've achieved any level of success, there comes a time where it just feels heavier than it should. Leadership has weight, yes, but unnecessary weight is usually a symptom that your system doesn't match your size anymore. You have to retool and reinvent your systems for the new level that you're approaching. God often shifts the season internally before he reveals it externally. I mean, let's be honest. If you're a spiritually sensitive person or in tune, your spirit knows before your strategy does. You feel something off. And oftentimes we just ignore it and we'll kind of ride it out. But when you sense these signs, it's time to examine, not time to endure. But man, examination requires change. And even though we're pushing forward, we would like to kind of keep doing the same thing and just keep growing without having to do or turn into something else or become something else. Here's the tension. How do you evolve without losing who you are? How do you pivot without abandoning the identity God has built in you? Here's the formula. First thing, keep the foundation, but change the form. Your values, non-negotiable. Your mission is steady. Your identity is anchored. But the form, the methods, the systems, the strategies, those have to evolve based on circumstances. Number two, upgrade your standards, not your speed. High performers think the answer is to push harder. But when the plan stops working, it's usually not an effort problem. It's an alignment problem. The next level of your life requires more clarity, not more chaos. Number 3, replace control with stewardship. Leaders, we will try to hold everything together, but growth is never about control. It's about stewardship, being faithful with more by being willing to let go of what no longer fits, what no longer serves, what no longer lifts the purpose. Think of a tree. It doesn't cling to dead branches. It releases them so new growth can form. Some leaders are praying for new fruit, but they refuse to prune the old branches. Number 4, the courage to pivot before the pain forces it. Most people won't pivot until the pain gets louder than their pride. But high performers do something different. They start to pivot and prune early. Before it's comfortable, before it's obvious, before the whole world can see it. The courage to pivot comes from 3 truths. You are not married to the method. You are committed to the mission, not the way you've always done it. Man, when you go somewhere and things are, you can feel things are trying to grow, they're trying to move, but you will still have some people there's like, well, but this is the way we've always done it. Or they try to straighten you up, especially if you're new to the organization or you're in a new leadership position. This is the way you've always done it. Even though God's putting something in you that has inspired something to help grow the organization from the position that you're in. Second truth regarding pivots. Pivots protect your purpose. Sometimes God closes a door not to stop you, but to redirect you toward higher impact. The third thing, reinvention is the price of elevation. Every new level of life requires a new level of leadership. If you wait until pain forces you, you'll pivot from fear. But if you pivot when the Spirit starts nudging you, you'll pivot from wisdom. High performers don't wait for life to humble them. They humble themselves and choose growth. So if you're listening today and you're in that moment, the moment where the plan that got you here is no longer taking you further, hear me. You're not failing. You're evolving. Your season has shifted, and the next version of you is calling you forward. Have the courage to reevaluate. Have the boldness to pivot, and have the wisdom to reinvent without losing the foundation that makes you you. This is how you scale your leadership. This is how you scale your life. And this is how you build a life worth living. Until next time, keep building your 360 success.